It all started on a Thursday, when Detective Hannah Malik walked into the British Library and found the reading room sealed behind police tape. The press would later date the incident 12 June 2023, but the first evidence, a smear of synthetic oil on a laminated card, was stamped 0913 at King's Cross Station. What followed read like a police procedural written into a science fiction primer. Murder, a missing memory drive, and a market for human recollection that the Metropolitan Police had never imagined would be weaponized. Dr. Peter Hawthorne, a 58-year-old archival neuroscientist, was the designated curator for the library's experimental loan, Mnemosine Drive, a compact neuromagnetic vault that could store episodic memories for clinical transfer. The drive was the culmination of a public-private partnership between the British Library, University College London, and a private firm called Neurotrace. It was kept under a quantum seal in a climate vault, accessible only by biometric concurrence. At 0857 the morning of the 12th, the vault beeped. At 0905, Dr. Hawthorne's card was used to lift the seal. At 0912, he was found dead in the lower reading room, his head against a folio, a small burn twice the size of a coin on his temple. Detective Malik assembled a team from the homicide and tech crime units. CCTV outside King's Cross had been blanked for a 10-minute window, classic tampering. Yet one piece of new tech provided a trail where cameras did not. Neurotrace had installed synaptic sweep nodes in public transit for a pilot study, nodes that measured stray electromagnetic patterns left by active implant devices. The nodes aren't supposed to store memories, only metadata, but they recorded a faint shadow in 0911, a passenger's gait, and a residual pattern consistent with a mnemosine handshake. Among the suspects were a graduate student who publicly called Hawthorne unethical for testing on retired minors, a private collector of prohibited sensory media in Shoreditch, and Sir Malcolm Greaves, a senior civil servant who had lobbied to expand memory transfer regulation. The theft itself had precision. Someone knew to spoof the quantum seal's timestamp and to neutralize biometric locks without raising the alarm. Neuroforensic analysts retrieved a fragment of encoded data from the drive stocking sleeve. They could not extract the memories legally. Such an act would be an invasion. But a backdoor snippet revealed 3 frames. King's Cross at dawn, Dr. Hawthorne arguing with a man in a navy coat, and a hand wearing a signet ring, taking the drive. The signet matched images of Greaves from a parliamentary gallery photo. When shown to witnesses, the image produced a rupture. Several recall seeing Greaves with Hawthorne at a private meeting the week before. As Malik pushed, the investigation began to look less like petty theft and more like regulatory capture. Leaked transcripts suggested the Mnemosine drive contained a sequence of memories not of patients, but of depositions. Interviews with whistleblowers who had sold their recollections to corporate bidders. Those testimonies, if played publicly, would implicate politicians in systematically sanitizing the memory market. The drive's contents could exonerate minors, convict executives, and topple careers. On the 12th day, footage surfaced from a Southwark pub. Someone had uploaded a 10-second clip of a memory playback. The pub's patrons watched a woman's recollection of a boardroom deal. Words, faces, dates, rendered with horror. The clip circumvented law and ethics in one stroke, and the country convulsed. Protesters gathered at the British Library. Parliament convened emergency hearings. Neurotrace suspended operations. Malik confronted Sir Malcolm Greaves in his Whitehall office. He denied the theft, but admitted to securing access pathways for national interest deposits. The confession staggered public opinion. When memory becomes evidence, who decides which memories can be shared? Hawthorne's autopsy returned an ambiguous cause of death, a targeted electromagnetic surge intended to disable the drive and silence the archivist, but the exact trigger, whether accident or intention, remained indeterminate. Ultimately, charges were filed against a cell of shadow brokers in Shoreditch and an aide in Greaves's office. Greaves himself retreated from public life amid inquiry, but was never convicted before Parliament dissolved. The Mnemosine drive was recovered from a locker in Lewisham, partially corrupted. Some of Hawthorne's files survived, encrypted copies of interviews whose subjects later testified under protection. The affair changed legislation. The Data and Memory Act, passed the following year, created strict custody rules for experiential media and criminalized unconsented transfers. Detective Hannah Malik's internal report, published in redacted form, warned of one simple truth. Once you can treat a human memory as an object to be bought and sold, you create incentives as old as crime itself. In archives and law libraries across the United Kingdom, the Mnemosine affair is catalogued as a watershed, a crime that forced technology into public law and forced the public to answer a question no statute could fully settle. What does it mean to own a memory?
The book of that moment ends not with finality, but with a recording, half corrupted, looping in collections. Dr. Hawthorne telling a colleague, "You cannot lock a past that people are still willing to die for."